Hi, I'm Suki Bains, Senior Marketing Director from TM Forum. Yourself?
I'm Padma Ravichander, CEO, Tecnotree.
Hi, I'm Prianca Ravichander. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer and the Commercial Officer of Tecnotree Corporation.
Well, it's great to have you both here today. Thank you.
Nice to meet you again.
Yeah, lovely to see you again as well. So, with International Women's Day ahead later this week, it's really great to meet with you both. Very successful women. We have a CEO here and a CMO as well. So what I'd love to ask you is, what challenges have you maybe faced and what barriers did you experience on your journeys?
It's really interesting because I think, I'm a child of the baby boomers, okay, and went to school in a generation that had no internet, no mobile technology. Computers barely started to exist in the 60s, right, with IBM. Studied computer science in Canada, entered the field, tech field, among a lot of men, okay? And then I have seen the era of internet, the era of mobile, the era of satellites, and now the era of AI, and I almost feel like I've had 5 generations of lifetime in one life. So an extremely interesting space and time to be. In terms of the journey itself, I think there's not been a moment of lack of learning. It is a very challenging field for women, but it's also a very good field for women to go after, because I think with today's technology, especially post-internet, you have a lot of opportunities to work from anywhere, to contribute as a woman, to shape the future of the world to be. And there are many women in my organization who love the field, and we're continuously, promoting. And in fact, now when we hire college grads, more than 50% of our uptake from university campus are women. So I'm really delighted to see more and more women in tech. And I think it's a field that encourages innovation, deep thinking and deep learning, and have a way in which women can immensely contribute, So I'm happy for that.
Amazing. And how about yourself, Priyanka?
Well, I think you said, what are the challenges, right, that women face? I think I like to say this to people, that I make a living out of other people underestimating me. So, I see that happen a lot, especially within the technology space. They don't really expect much from you, at the table, in terms of contribution, in terms of ownership, in terms of responsibility. And to the contrary, I think, to add to what Padma was saying, I think, in fact, women are positioned genetically in a much more stronger position to take advantage of the scenarios that we're dealt with, especially in the telecom space and the technology space. And I'll give you an example. Whether it's forming partnerships, okay, it does not have to be like binary. It has to be multimodal in nature. When you talk about, effective communication, you have to have empathy by design. It's not just connectivity, but connections, right? And I think women are strategically positioned at a competitive advantage to add a whole new dimension in terms of how technology and innovation can develop. Because I think by nature, we're more inclusive, we're better at communication, and multitasking even comes naturally, to us. And with respect to the AI paradigm of it as well, now, a lot of your repetitive tasks are going to be delegated, to autonomous processes, autonomous networks, standards. And what's left is the real emotions and intent behind why you're doing what you're doing. And when it comes to actually navigating that paradigm, I call it empathy economy. I think it's going to be for women, and that's what I see the future as.
That's really insightful. And I'm thinking about the journey. So who have been important allies for you who've supported what was ahead in your career?
Some of my early bosses have been women. And I'd have to say that I really enjoy the work dynamic, especially with women leadership. I'm also running a marketing team today that is 90% women, and I'm really proud of that because I think we're one of the best marketing teams in the industry today. And I also have a product team, which is our B2B to X team, and that's like a 50-50 ratio, okay, of men and women. It's more like, technology. So I have to say that the difference between working in both those teams, there's like a paradigm shift. So when you work with women, whether it's your bosses or people that are a part of your team, you need to communicate less because it's based on intent and intuition. You don't have to say, do this till the end. The level of ownership and understanding is already embedded in the work ethic and the process. So things happen so much faster because you don't need to explain everything. Which is why I think if Tecnotree is done well, in terms of at least its marketing, it's because we're so much faster to market. Because we don't have, we're very dynamic communication frameworks within the team.
That's really great. And how about yourself, Padma?
I come from a different age, right? I've traditionally worked with a lot of male leaders, but I must say I've had a couple of women bosses that have helped me, especially in Hewlett-Packard. I had a woman boss for more than 7-8 years. She was quite an intelligent electronics engineer and a great mentor coach. Interestingly, I've also had very good women customers who are CXOs who have had a very big impact in terms of some of my thought process and the connects that we have been able to make at a leadership level to build a business together and sort of a very undercurrent in terms of how we trust and learn to respect each other. So that's been a very interesting journey. But I've also worked with a lot of men, and there have been very many intelligent men who have a lot of empathy, and then there are some that have been very tough to work with as well. I remember very earlier on, this has nothing to do with leadership. When I was a programmer in Canada, there was one architect. He was just a very tough guy. His name was Mr. Button. That's all I would say. And we used to have several arguments, and I was the only woman in a team of 30, 40 people. We were building the next generation of card telephony, technology for Bell Canada. And I prepared a document, an architecture document or a design document, and then it was circulated and we have to come for a reading session. And this guy comes in and we are about 10 people sitting in the room. I'm the only woman. He throws my document on the floor and says, this is a piece of and I just look up at him and say, why? And he says, you've not used the right font size. We use Times Roman 10. And I said, is that all the comment you have? Then thank you very much. The meeting is over. And then that evening, we come to work at 7 a.m. in the morning. We go home at 8:30, 9 at night. His truck is parked next to my car. And I couldn't help it. It's a dirt truck. I was so angry the whole day with him that I went to his truck and on his dirt, I wrote, you suck. And he knew my car was parked next to him. So this sort of, tough growth has been at breaking the barriers, showing that women can outperform, can perform, can even, contribute in a very meaningful, innovative manner has always been a challenge. And at times you have to call the shots. You have to tell them that, you cannot label, certain tasks by gender types. And I think today, this little story that will never repeat itself. But it's a story I'll always remember in my life because I had to break those barriers growing up.
Thank you for sharing that very interesting story with us.
And if he was listening, he will smile.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. So from a generational point of view, you know, we have a mother and daughter here, so I'm sure you have your own styles. So what would you call out as the differences?
She should answer about me, and I would answer about her, I think.
I will write a book. I have so much to say about my life and especially about Tecnotree that I will eventually write a book, and how I lost my motherhood to the company. But I think, you know, I'm a person who really believes in all human beings. You know, I give everybody the benefit of doubt, and that's my nature. And I'm very easy to put the past behind, and I want to move forward, because I think every minute is an opportunity to learn, grow, and innovate. I don't want to waste my time recalling you said, she said, we said. So I think from that perspective, working with Prianca has been very delightful. She comes from the Gen Z millennial generation, and let me tell you, it's a huge learning, you know, and I have an opportunity to see both sides of that generation. And therefore, my adaptation to the people I work with in my office now as new Gen Zs join has been evolving. You know, my goalpost has continuously evolved as a leader in terms of how I deal with these people, you know, what they will engage, what they will not engage, and how do we grow together, what would empower them to sort of give their best, and so on and so forth. And it's, let me tell you, and it's very different today than what it was. And post-COVID, things have changed even further, because now we work mostly on the internet. We don't have that many physical meetings or, you know, water cooler conversations. So I think it's been a very interesting journey. And I think the post-COVID era is more suitable to this generation than it is to me, because I would love coming to office. I would love going out with you know, my colleagues for a coffee and just shooting the breeze. I miss that. Whereas this generation never would know what that was, you know, and it's a very different concept.
And how about yourself, Priyanka?
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of add to like what she was talking about, I think, you know, the way you show dominance today is by leaving somebody on red, right? Or the way you establish connection is like two blue ticks in a chat, and that's it. That's connection, you know. So it's so different from, I guess, the experiences that she's grown up with.
Or a thumbs up on a, or a heart on a statement.
That's it. That's all you need, actually. So so I think, you know, there is a different way of working. There are different styles of working as well. I think that, like, the group of people that I work with, my age group, then of course I have the opportunity. In Tecnotree, by the way, we have, I think, 4 decades of people working with us. This has been some of, for some people, it's like their first job and last job. So we do have a breadth of generations. We're very fortunate to have, I think, about 6 generations that work in the company simultaneously. So we're very fortunate to be able to learn from each other. And I think, you know, the interesting thing is that I think our generation doesn't have much patience. You know, they want transformation now in real time. Whereas, like, we were working on the CSRD. So we're doing a CSRD reporting this year for our Finnish Stock Exchange. It's a sustainability report that we have to give out along with our annual report, which I'm really proud of as a Finnish company to be able to do that. And then we were setting targets in terms of diversity. And then she was like, okay, when could we do a 50-50 in terms of diversity? Could we do that, like, by 2030? Can we say that we're going to be a 50-50 across the management, across, you know, in terms of gender and inclusivity? It's going to take time. You know, you need to, you know, set up a process and program. I was like, no, the target should be that we would do it now. Not 30% in 2028 and then, you know, 50% in 2030. No, because today the population is 50-50. So we haven't seen the grit. I wouldn't go and write "you suck" on somebody's car. More passive aggressive approach, to dealing with people who are not comfortable with me. So I've not seen the need for such kind of grit. And I probably because our challenges have been different. So we come from that generation where we are born into equality, and we're expecting that as the norm when you walk in. So.
I do want to add that we have been recognized in the Nordic Gender Diversity Index as one of the top gender diversity companies of the Nordics, I think in the top 10 or something.
Top performing in the mid-cap segment, yeah.
So ladies, I'd love to know, what's the achievement in your career that you're the most proud of? And do you feel that the industry recognized you as women?
Frankly, I think I don't attribute any of the milestones I've made or crossed or the success I've achieved to be being a woman, okay? I've really looked at it as what is the best as a human I can offer, and have I been fair in the process? And to me, my landmark achievement is Tecnotree, the turnaround story. When I took over as a CEO, the company was in debt restructuring. I had to turn it around. I didn't know the Finnish listed company acts or laws or governance issues. And I was a techie at heart. And I signed up to the challenge, and look where we are today. And I'm really proud of the team. As Prianca said, there are many people in the company, 30 plus years of contribution. And every person in the company, man or woman, matters. And I've had several customers come and tell me that we have a brilliant team, and I attribute our success to that teamwork. The last thing I'd like to say is that I think what is really important, well, gender brings a certain quality and capability. And I think there is a good place for both men and women to coexist. And as Priyanka said, I think getting 50% of that combination will be a recipe for success. Because I think it is all about the left brain, right brain. It's all about empathy and objectivity and practicality coming together continuously. It's about, diabolic focus versus multitasking happening at the same time. And it's that and plus, plus, plus. So my hope is Tecnotree stands as a shining example of that kind of capability and leadership in the telecom technology world. So I'm happy for that. And I think we'll get there.
For myself, I think recently I was last week recognized as the top 15 CMOs in the Middle East. It was a part of the Conversational AI Summit. It's a true testament to where Tecnotree is going in terms of the generative AI capabilities that we're bringing to the stack, and trying to embed more hyper-personalization in every process that we're trying to deliver to our customers and their customers. I do attribute that to the company. I don't attribute that to myself at all. I think there's a fabulous team supporting the turnaround that we're trying to make into the market. As challengers, it's a tough position. And I have to say that it's not just the team that's recognizing it. It's also our partners, and I have to mention TM Forum in this, because it would not have been possible to really challenge the market without a true partner, like an industry partner like TM Forum. We attribute close to 60% of our growing business to leads and opportunities that we get from the forum. And I think any growing company and challenge on the market has to work with partners, and we're happy to have SI partners, industry partners, analyst partners like yourselves that really support us and want to be a part of Tecnotree's growth story. So recently we partnered with HCL Tech. We're also talking to a number of SI firms. TM4 makes us SI ready. So we're really getting recognition in the market for the work that we're doing, standardizing the process, making it easy to use. And I think that's a great achievement,
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your award, and congratulations to yourself for being such an amazing CEO.
Thank you.
You're both really inspirational, and we love having you as our member. So many years ahead together.
We love working with TM Forum, and I think we've benefited mutually, and that's always a recipe for great partnership.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.